I want to thank everybody from the media and all of our partners who were involved in the case involving Jordan Cooper for coming out to the Clay County Sheriff's Office for an update on that case. As many of you know, on November 26th of last year, the victim, Jordan Cooper, was reported missing by her mother. And my team back here, as well as the different stakeholders in the community and the law enforcement world, had a tirelessly effort in looking for young Miss Cooper. Unfortunately, a little bit of time went by and Miss Cooper's body was found in the residence, and we'll get into details on the timeline, and that will be coming from Chief Wayne McKinney of the Clay County Sheriff's Office. But we have spoken to the family about the events that we'll be talking about today, and by request of the family, and I'll read their statement, the family has been made aware of the arrest, and there has been an arrest in this case. They appreciate the community and the Clay County Sheriff's Office for all their support and commitment to Jordan. At this time, they request privacy so they can grieve as a family. Now, there was an arrest of a man named Joe Arthur Turner. Joe Arthur Turner has been in the Clay County Jail since December 29th on a felony charge. And I will roll the rest of this over to Chief Wayne McKinney so he can give you a proper timeline on the chain of events, and then we'll entertain questions after that. Fair enough?
Hello, my name is Wayne McKinney. I'm the Chief of Detectives for the Clay County Sheriff's Office. I want to thank you for coming today. I do want to remind everyone that this is a bittersweet day for the Cooper family as well as the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Jordan Cooper was an innocent soul who has touched each and every one of these individuals behind me. Her absence will not only be felt by the Cooper family, but the Clay County Sheriff's Office as well, and the community for years and years to come. I want to start off by thanking the many state, local, and federal agencies that came in on the early part of this case to help us search for Jordan. Their support was appreciated and very much encouraging. These individuals, I'll assure the Clay County citizens, these men and women standing behind me, and many, many more that couldn't be recognized here today, worked tirelessly on this case from the very inception. They've spared no personal time. They've come out late hours, worked long, tedious situations to get through this, and we were able to work it to a somewhat successful conclusion. We'll never have true justice in a case like this, but we have done our part of what we can do as law enforcement officers. On December 9th of 2017, Jordan Cooper was found to have been murdered and concealed in the attic of her own home. As part of that, we launched a major investigation. A large investigative net was cast, and part of that was to identify any criminal element within her community, within her immediate neighborhood. A burglary that was committed on November 1st of 2017 was one of those cases that came to light. A coordinated effort between burglary detectives and robbery homicide detectives identified a suspect in that burglary, which revealed that Joe Arthur Turner was a suspect, and later they developed probable cause for the arrest of Joe Arthur Turner in that burglary incident. On December 29th, an arrest warrant was being served on Joe Arthur Turner for his arrest in the burglary. While trying to apprehend him, he was found to be hiding in the attic of his residence, which subsequently is in Jordan Cooper's neighborhood on the same road. When they apprehended him in the attic, they found a bag of women's clothing in the vicinity where he was located. And later investigation revealed that several items of that clothing was taken from Jordan Cooper's home. His actions during that apprehension also led us to obtain a search warrant for his DNA to be compared to evidence that we had recovered as part of this investigation. Later testing by the serology lab at the Florida Department of Law Enforcement has now positive Band-Aid that we removed from the attic of Jordan Cooper's home, as well as a sexual assault kit that was conducted at the time of this, as part of this investigation. We are asking for the community to take heed to this, and if anyone has had any contact with Joe Arthur Turner prior to this or during these time frames I've talked about, or in the past there's been any incidents or actions that they've seen from Joe Arthur Turner that they think might be pertinent to this case, to please reach out to us and let us know. We would like to talk to you. We have uncovered several statements of that nature, but we would like to, I want to stress that this investigation will continue up until the prosecution and the trial is going on. We will not stop investigating this case, and if anyone does have any information they feel would be pertinent, we would ask that they call our Sheriff's Office non-emergency number. That would be 904-264-6512, 904-264-6512, or reach out through our tip line on our Clay County Sheriff's Office webpage, which is www.claysheriff.com. Any information would be helpful. I want to stress that our prayers go out to the family and the community that's suffering from her loss, and we suffer with them. At this time, I'm going to open it up to questions, but I am going to stress that there is a lot of specifics that I'm not going to be able to talk about, because as I mentioned, this investigation is going to continue, and I would not want to do anything that would hinder or influence a statement or any type of witness testimony in the future. So I will open it up to some questions for some clarification.
Chief Nick here, First Coast News. Why not tell us, more importantly, I guess, when this happened, that you guys arrested? Going to the timeline, I mean, here we're talking, it's middle of January, late January. Why find this out now instead of letting us know in the public for safety reasons back in December?
Like I said, it's of utmost importance. We have to see this all the way through prosecution phase, and we have to protect the integrity of the case. And anything that we release prematurely, now we are very careful. If we become aware of information we know a suspect is at large, then we will alert the community that there's a suspect at large and who we're looking for. In this case, we were able to apprehend him. He was detained in our jail, and he has remained detained in our jail since December 29th. At the point he became a higher priority in the investigation and as a suspect. So in order to protect the integrity of the case and make sure we were able to do the investigative techniques that we needed to do, we have to protect that, and we could ensure that the safety of the community was at heart.
Chief, to be clear, is he charged with her murder, or what is he charged with?
Yes, the charges on Joe Arthur Turner is going to be murder, burglary, and sexual battery. A warrant was served this morning by the Clay County Sheriff's detectives where he has a no bond on the murder charge, so he will continue to be incarcerated in the Clay County Jail from here on further.
Can you explain why you're looking for more information? Do you believe more people were involved?
Anytime we're conducting an investigation, there's still many pieces of evidence that need to be processed. There's still a lot of investigative things that need to be done. However, we did feel important to go ahead and put the charges on him to make the citizens aware, so it also helps us in our investigation at this point identify any additional charges he may be good for, or any stories that might help give some more motive behind this.
Chief, just talk on the fact you finally have a suspect behind bars.
I'm sorry?
Just talk on the fact that you obviously have somebody now that, as you talked on having a person of interest, now that is at least the first step is behind bars at this point.
Correct. Joe Arthur Turner is behind bars. We do have a no bond warrant on him. He will not be leaving our jail, barring something else on the prosecution side.
Relief?
Yes, I would say relief, but still, because of the type of case it is, our heart's still filled with sorrow for Jordan Cooper, her family, and the friends that she had around her.
You said a Band-Aid had positive ID for DNA. Was that the only thing other than the rape kit that you found with his DNA, or were there other items in her home that appeared out of place, or?
At this time, without getting into specifics, I will say there are multiple other items that are going to be processed for evidence. At this time, those were the two pieces of evidence that we do have positive DNA that have gone through the complete quality assurance process and all that through serology with Fuller Department of Law Enforcement. We do anticipate many more pieces of evidence that will reveal that, but we're going to have to maintain that for the prosecution of this case.
To clarify on the timing, the burglary happened in early November, and it was not in the Cooper home, it was just nearby?
Correct. All the Coopers, Joe Arthur Turner's home, and the home that was burglarized are all on the same street. That burglary did occur on November 1st. Again, we were just looking at crimes that occurred in the area and trying to identify suspects in those crimes, which led us to him. There were tools taken in that burglary, so nothing that would directly, it was unrelated to the Cooper case that we knew of at the time, but because of its location, it became a concern for us, and that's why we gave it some extra attention.
Chief, there wasn't any prior relationship between the two that would know that Joe Arthur had any connection to Jordan Cooper or the family?
They live in the same street. They're close in age, and the suspect in this case is 27 years old. Jordan was 25. She has an older brother, so yes, they had some familiarity just from the community living in the same neighborhood.
Mainly just being neighbors though at this point, no
Correct.
no friendly association or anything like that?
No, sir, not that we're aware of.
Does it appear she was murdered in the home?
Yes, sir, it does at this time.
What was the burglary of? Was he burgling her home, or is this his prior burglary?
That charge comes from just some of the clothing. As I mentioned earlier, we did identify several pieces of clothing that he had with him at his home to have come from Jordan Cooper's home.
Do you think she was targeted?
I'm not sure at this point.
There was a 20-day timeline, 40-year-old timeline. 20 days expired between the time you discovered the body and arrested the suspect, who it turns out burglarized another home. You never issued a warning to the public to be able to look out for anyone. Why is that?
Well, at the time, we only had a single burglary where tools were taken, which did not indicate. In Jordan Cooper's case, there was a difference between we even located her. The only thing I can say to that is she was, and without giving away specifics, she was heavily concealed in the attic under layers of insulation. Even upon looking for her, we had difficulty finding her.
Can you clarify how the body was found? We never heard that when this initially happened.
I don't want to get into specifics because of any future statements that come out. If I give too much out, a statement he may make or we may get from a witness that may exist, that would taint that. I would have given it out at this point. So that's why we haven't given out a whole lot of how she was found specifically. But I will say she was concealed heavily.
Do you believe he acted alone?
At this point, I do.
This guy's past criminal history, what can you tell us about that?
I know there was no felony charges. I know he had some minor incidents, run-ins with law enforcement, but nothing major. He was not in the DNA database system, so that's why we had to go seek out a direct comparison DNA swab from him and obtained a search warrant for that. So nothing major, nothing that would stick out when you look at his criminal history.
Has he been cooperative or confessed to anything?
I'll say he has not been cooperative at this point, and then I will end the questioning and turn it back over to Sheriff Daniels.
Thank you, Chief. That's going to end question and answers on this case. You know, for the citizens who are viewing right now, we can only divulge but so much because there's information that only the killer or people who involved in this incident would know. And to divulge it, you know, too much information, like the Chief said, would taint the case. So I think we've been more than forthcoming in the spirit of transparency to share information, not only with the media, but with the citizens of Clay County and those in the viewing audience. My hat goes off to everyone involved in this case who brought us to this position where an arrest has been made. And there's so much I'd like to say about Mr. Turner, but he'll have his day in court, and I'll be sitting in the audience. And I may not be able to go in his house and drink coffee, but I'll certainly have my coffee cup in the courthouse.
Sure.
So again, thank y'all. That ends the questions, like I said, and y'all take care.
Who are all these
Thank you,
people
guys.
behind you?
This is my robbery homicide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will you guys be releasing a mugshot?
Got everything for y'all.